Mate, what is with all these NRL fantasy podcasts? They all sound the fucking same. Welcome to the Echo Chamber.
Good evening and welcome to the Echo Chamber, another fantasy NRL podcast. Thank you for joining us this evening. My name's Bryce. I'll be one of your hosts today. Also joining us for this TLT, teamless, buy, swap, sell sort of shit. JZ, how you doing, mate?
Fantastic, Brycey. Thanks for having me on again. Pretty decent week for me. I lost 2 spots, but considering I didn't trade too hard, I'm pretty happy with, I think I just under 800 points for the week.
Yeah, and you had some really good solid advice around Sava last week, which proved pretty much to be right on the money. So we can get into our team lists and stuff soon. But yeah, you had a pretty good week, mate. Also joining us is Eddie, or Cross from the Ditch, mate. How you going, mate?
Yeah, good, mate. Good. Finally, fucking had a better round for once, and finally into the huge milestone of being in the top 10k, which should be automatic. But for some reason, it's taken me 12 rounds to get there. But yeah, went by a few thousand ranked last week with a score of, what did I get? 797, is it?
Yeah, 797.
Oh, beat me by one.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've got a lot more than one to catch up, though. You're probably like 500 ahead of me by now.
500. I think you're being a bit. You're 660 behind, mate. But yeah, anyway.
I'm not looking at the fucking points of the people that high up above me, bro. I'm looking at people that I could possibly catch. Like, I'm looking at the guys there between 5,000 to 9,000, like seeing what they're up to.
Mate, you're only 120 points behind me, and I'm sitting inside the top 3,000. So you're making some room there. I had a bit of a shocker week. I brought in Reed Money, and he did not pay off. I've now got a fucking dud spot, but I'm sure we'll talk about some trades and stuff later down the track. I only scored 716. I did only lose a few hundred spots though, so seemed medium score was around 740, 750, like that. So yeah,
that's what I reckon.
A lot of the people in our sort of Discord and in our circles scored really well this week and made decent ground. So that's
no, who didn't?
That's all good. Me, I didn't.
No, you did real good compared to Butters.
What did he get?
Like 639 or some shit.
Oh, bro, you're finally back above him now, or what?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was never a doubt, Eddie.
That's crazy.
As I said last week on the podcast that we recorded for like 90 minutes last Tuesday, that Scoop lost, fucking, this is the time of year where Butters and Jessup start to fall apart, no matter how well they've started.
Yeah, Jessup had a bit of a fucking mare too, didn't he?
He's still ahead of me, but I'm clawing back at him now too.
Yeah, it's a week where all the really common players went well, and Butters just loves a pod, and all his pods did shit else, so he got absolutely dumpstered.
My week was fucked at the moment because I don't have Fletcher Sharp, so that was immediately put me behind the 8 ball.
Yeah.
So not missing out on a 90 is rough. But yeah, other than that, not too bad. Let's get into team lists for this week. First game Friday night is Dragons and Knights. Interesting person on the bench for the Dragons boys. Toby Couchman's back a bit early.
Yeah, probably would have held him if I'd known he was going to come back this early. You never know with these sorts of injuries, though. I told myself at the start of the season, if it's anything more than like a sort of 1 to 2, and then I'd just trade them. So I followed through with that plan, and yeah, he's just coming back a bit earlier, eh?
Sitting on the bench.
Yeah, I'm actually kind of glad. Like, if he comes back and only plays 40 minutes this week and 45 next week and then builds into a real role by the time round 15 rolls around, then ideally you get him a bit cheaper. I think his break-even's sitting around 80, so I don't hate him coming back early, even though I sold him also. We get to sort of suss what his role looks like now. I'll say it's a really good bench with Laurie and Pacific Tonga, who are both very short-minute players. I guess the main concern now is, does Jacob Little spend more time at lock like he did in the last game they played? Because that really seemed to work. Or was it Cook at lock? One of the two.
Yeah, I think little. I'm a little bit worried about Hamish Stewart. I think this does hurt his minutes a little bit. Just the base that there's also no edge on the bench whatsoever. So these 4 players are gonna have to play in the middle.
I would expect either Pacific Tonga or Laurie to drop out for Tyler Mariner come game day. That would be my 2, Bob.
Yeah, just definitely something to watch there. Are we still really high on Hamish? Regardless, I think he's a solid buy still.
I am not as high on him. I think if you were going to buy him, it had to be a couple weeks ago. Like, he's still scoring quite well, but I mean, he's not going to get the minutes, I don't think. He had a couple of bigger scores in lower minutes, but he's also had a few concussions this year. And with Couch coming back, if he starts to build into his role, there's certainly more risk around him now. Wouldn't talk anyone out of buying him because he's a strong PPM scorer and one of the future stars of the club, but he's not as appealing as when Couchman was out.
Yeah, I got him a couple of weeks ago, and I think he'll do pretty good, but a bit of the juice is gone now. But there's probably still about 100k of price rises. I reckon he'll be still good for 45 points a game.
I
So
think
he's not the worst pickup, and he plays 15, 18, and 19 in the middle. So that's pretty fucking useful.
yeah, and he's cheaper than a lot of the other players that you could probably get a 45 to 50 from. So there's also that bit of value there.
You're gonna need him in 18 though. Like, we're gonna have May and Tarpanay, and I mean, I guess if you don't have any other forwards, but yeah,
probably not. But I will need him in round 19.
Round 19, when we spoke about it last week, is going to be probably harder than round 8, like round 18 at this stage.
I've got so many out.
Yeah,
so many out. Because I've already got a lot out, and then I'm probably going to bring in Kolo and Aitken to add to the mix. So, and I've got like guys like Garrett, Gaz, plus all those Raiders. It's going to be a lot, but I think I might try to ditch some of those Raiders before then.
Yeah, I think there's going to be a lot of people selling Raiders in round 19 just so they can field that whole team, because it's going to be.
I kind of wish I never even bought Hosking.
Yeah,
he's really sputtered it. I remember a couple of weeks back, Ridley said he was a must-have, and I sort of scoffed at that. Like, there's no way. Like, wait and see if he plays 80 or not, and he's not playing 80. And
I'm not even playing him this week.
Yeah.
Yeah, me neither.
It's just the week he burns your boys for not playing him, but yeah, we'll see. He didn't have a very good game last week, so fantasy wise. Anybody else you're looking at on the Dragons? Just holding LKT till he gets dropped or stops making money?
Yeah,
that's a hold there.
I don't have him, but if you have him, like, there's no point in selling, really. He hasn't made enough money, and there's no one to cash down to. Yep. Hopefully he makes a bit of cash by the time Latu Fainu comes into the Tigers side, and that's a pretty good straight swap.
Yep.
I mean, if worse comes to worst, I'll play him in round 15, although I would like to try and have 2 halves better than that, but I mean, there's no point of trading him out before then.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Knight's team is Fletcher Sharp still a buy?
How much is he now?
He's expensive, man. $750, I think.
He's $733. A lot of the appeal's gone. Like, I don't know if he's as good of a final team keeper as like a Teddy or a JC or a Drinkwater. I mean, he's scoring better than all of them at the moment, but whether he keeps that up or not is a different story.
I reckon he is. He could be the second to top. I don't think he'll be better than JC. I think he'll be right up there with those guys you just mentioned, though.
Yeah, there's every chance. I mean, it's probably fair to say Newcastle aren't going to beat a lot of teams the way they beat Penrith. And, man, he looks good at fullback, but he doesn't get that kind of quality ball in the halves. So, I don't know. My mind's a bit flip-flopping on whether or not I want him in my final team or not. I mean, before last week's game, I sort of had in my mind that I'd trade him before 18, but a timely reminder that he can score about as many points as anyone else in the competition if he's on.
Yeah, and
He's going to end up being one of those guys where, like, you're not going to have enough trades to justify an extremely sideways trade of going him to another winger fullback. Just to fuck yourself an extra 2 points a game or some shit.
Yeah, and it is worth noting that his dual position's actually quite handy. You're not going to have that many gun halves. Like, you're going to have Cleary, and then most people will have one of Fogarty or Katoa, and then that's about it. Like, I don't see myself holding Munster post-Origin.
Nah.
Campbell fills the same role as Sharp, but yeah, I think you want Campbell in your wing fullback because he's the out-and-out best wing fullback. So it is a handy dual position to have.
I'll be holding him all year as long as he doesn't get injured.
So if you had a choice, because they both don't play round 19, you're just paying up the extra 40 grand and getting Campbell, right?
I probably would, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd lean that way too.
Yeah, because they got pretty much the same buy period. You're just going to pay up and grab Jaden at that point.
The Knights have only had one buy, right? So technically, you get an extra game out of JC. Yeah,
that's right.
You do,
and I think JC will be better.
Yep, and we'll talk about him. Oh, we probably won't actually. I think they got a. No, we'll talk about him next.
No, they play.
Yeah, play him next. KPP hold sell.
Yeah, you're holding him.
Yeah, Dylan Lucas. Dylan Lucas still a buy. If for some reason you don't have him,
he's the best in his position. His price isn't crazy.
Yep.
He's a centre averaging 60, I think. Not much more needs to be said there.
Yeah, exactly.
Ponga holders. What are you telling them to do, Jay-Z?
If you showed him this song, you may as well keep holding him. I don't think there's many left, to be fair.
I do. Yeah. I think there's a couple that bang around in our Discord that still hold him, mate.
Yeah, I mean...
Might be selling him this week.
You can't do that much of his money. I mean, if your team is like mine and basically all of your players are the same price as Kalen Ponga, like my cheapest player is Savala, who's 433. What can you even really do with Ponga's money? Who are you going to trade him to? There's no wing fullback cash outs that we're looking at the moment. There's no real cash outs, generally speaking.
Just hold him and hope he gets better.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
Just while we're on that topic of sort of cashing out players, we listened to a few other podcasts, and I don't know why people are starting to get the idea in their heads that it's okay at this early point in the season to be getting like pure cash outs,
like a red dot.
It's crazy. Yeah, or just like just some shitter that fucking is cheap as fuck but might play and get 15 points or whatever. Like, don't fucking do that, man. This is round 13. We're not even 50% of the way into the comp yet. Why is anyone even discussing killing a position just to get a little bit of cash? That's crazy.
You do that, and when you get to round 19, 15, 19, you're not going to have enough fucking players to field. So that's just stupid.
It's round 13. It's just fucking retarded.
Yeah.
And for the record, I don't think there's any good cash outs this week. So don't try and force it. Just wait until there is. One day there will be.
Yep.
They always pop up sooner or later.
Yeah, I will say, though, I think the Tigers team list is a pretty clear indication that Fainu is going to be the 6 whenever he returns. So I am actually considering going early on him and using him to loop Munster and Fogarty.
I'd rather him than some random dumb one, but I don't know. You'd really,
I think you can wait.
I wouldn't like to force it. I'd say wait if possible, depending on what you miss out on by waiting.
That is true. If you could get a pure gun that's going to make everything way better for your team, and you got to bring in Ladu, then maybe. But unless it's that one,
I mean, if bringing him in means that you can fucking be playing JC instead of Tamale or something, then yeah, fair enough.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, well, of course.
He'd be the only cash out of interest, but personally, I'm just going to wait till he's picked. I've got cash in the bank, though, so it's different.
Same. Next game is the Titans and the Storm. It's up in Queensland by the looks of this. So, Jaden, 7, good. Team's pretty much going to back how it was when it started, and Kieran Foran's on the bench. Do we expect that to be the side that runs out?
Probably.
Yep. I don't think there'll be any late switches.
So. I mean, maybe the bench might swap up. Like, I don't know if Alec Wenke will still be on the bench come game day, but yeah, that's more or less the starting 1 to 13 I'd expect, and 4 and 14.
Yeah, I think Isaac is battling a shoulder injury. I think I read that from somewhere. So he may be back. Yeah, concussion, sorry. So I think they just named him there as caution, because Jacob's also named. So, yeah, we'll see what happens.
Yeah.
Storm. Watching Jerome Hughes this week pretty closely to see how he performs.
Not really.
No? Not an option for you?
Yeah, I think so. It depends on the timing. Like, if he makes 100K in 2 weeks, then my interest is probably gone. And you want to see him sort of score well before you bring him in. But if he has like a pretty good performance but doesn't, absolutely kill it, then yeah, he'll definitely be a strong consideration for round 16 for me, because I currently only have Fogarty as my round 18 half, unless I get Latu Fainu, but I'm not convinced he'll be a good enough player to actually play in your 13.
Yeah.
To be honest, I'm more interested in either Burton or Galvin than I am.
Galvin.
Yeah.
Interesting one, actually.
I'm more interested in them than I am Hughes.
I have to wait to see what happens with that Bulldogs team to see actually where they're named.
It's definitely a way. I won't make my decision which one of them I want until round 15.
Yeah. And I feel sorry for anyone who brought in Burton last week, because he may have just been murdered as an option, depending on what happens with this team.
I'm not convinced the Burton to fullback stuff is there's any sort of possibility of that happening. It seems a bit.
But even if he stays
silly.
at 6 and then just loses like even 10 or 15% of his involvements, it's going to hurt his scoring.
I was listening to the NRL 360 podcast, and basically all of them on there all seem to be of the opinion that Galvin will be playing at 7 for the Dogs as early as next week.
Yep.
And it'll be Galvin 7, then 6. But that, I 100% don't think Burton's going to fullback. They're just in the middle of talking about fucking how Sexton's on his way out of the club now. Fucking, it's obviously it's him that's getting cut.
Yeah, you'd think so.
I think it's very obvious.
Yeah, it's a lot of talk about team on a buy, but yeah.
Yeah, the thing for me is that as long as Savala holds his spot at the Roosters, I don't need a round 15 half. So that sort of drastically negates wanting a Burton or a Galvin type player.
You're going to have to
That's
watch.
exactly why I'm waiting till round 15.
When is Walker due back? Next week, eh? And we expect him to at least play a game in Rezzies, right?
I do.
Yeah, I think so.
I mean,
especially,
you go.
Especially when Savala and Sandon Smith are playing quite well together. Like, they just absolutely pieced up a full-strength Cronulla side with a few important players out.
Yep.
And Robinson has shown plenty of times in the past that he's happy for Walker to spend little bits of time in reserve grade.
Yep.
Yeah, exactly right.
I don't know if there's too many other people relevant. Fantasy, Cameron Munster's a hold until... my plan is to hold him till 15, make a decision then, get a couple more price rises out of him.
Yeah, that's the one.
Yeah, I'm the same. I think while his break even is so low and he's scoring so well, there's almost no point in even considering selling him until round 15. I mean, who knows? Maybe he gets injured tomorrow in Origin and he becomes a straight swap to Tyron Wishart or something. But otherwise, it's a very good matchup for him. We've seen all season just how lethal the Storm are on a dry track in in the middle of the day. So if the Storm are on, this could be another absolute belting, like what they did to the Tigers a few weeks back.
If somehow you don't need a wing fullback for round 15, are you interested in Pappenhausen? Being that he is a little bit cheaper right now?
Yeah. I mean, he actually may be a top option with goal kicking now firmly his. Like Nick Mendy hasn't kicked in weeks, and Melbourne are going to flog some sides down the back end of the stretch.
Well, they got Titans, Cowboys, Rabbitohs, Cronulla, Cowboys.
Yeah, I mean, he's always a good option with goal kicking.
No, if I can. I feel like for the last 4 years or so, there's always conversations at multiple points at every year. But they're like, oh, fucking now Pippi's goal kicking and doing this and that. He's going to be a gun again, and he just fucking never ends up working out. So I'll probably just leave him all year.
Yeah,
fair enough.
Yeah, he did.
Man, when's he really been a gun apart from like 1 year?
He got his 100, then he got a 22, which killed any price rises that was going to come out of him. So he's not an emergency buy this week. Otherwise, he's going to be 100 grand more expensive. So
no, I mean, has there been any point since like 2021 or whenever his good year was that he managed to be a keeper for a season?
Well, he is averaging 50.
That's been more due to injury though than his actual point scoring ability.
Yeah, but it's just something that always happens. He's like, you got to go back like 4 or 5 years since he ever worked out.
Yeah.
Why would it work out now?
I mean, he's averaging 50, and we both think Drinkwater and Teddy are keepers, so he's averaging pretty much the same as them. So
I just don't have any faith that he'll keep doing it. He never does.
Yeah. All right. No buy from Eddy. I think that's about it for that game. We'll move on to the Saturday afternoon game. The Cowboys versus the Tigers. Pretty sure this is a corresponding game last year. We got 60 put on us. So yeah, we'll see how that goes.
No, I think it was 2 years ago, and you put 70 on them at home.
It was the away game that they put 60 on.
Yeah, they beat you by 66 at Leichhardt, I think, and then you beat them by 70 at
I think their game was in
the same season.
By round. Hey?
Well, those two
in the same season, yeah,
same season, yeah.
So it's like 150-point turnaround.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, it was mental.
They're only about 3 weeks apart too. Yeah, they're only about 3 weeks apart.
It's like 100-point turnaround.
Yeah.
It was like that when the Cowboys won by 70. It was one of the worst defensive performances of all time. Like, it was straight training run. Like, they were running over them without making tackle breaks or anything. It was just drawing and passing.
So no real buys in the Cowboys team.
Scott Drinkwater?
Yeah, you get Drinkwater.
Would you do? Oh, yeah, you would, because he's now back and he doesn't miss a game till round 27. So, yeah, he's
playing the Tigers as well.
he's a strong buy if you need a wing fullback. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's possibly might drop a little bit of cash, but I mean, if you're wanting to get him, that probably means he's probably better than one of the guys you'd be playing in your winger fullback this week anyway. So yeah, I'd recommend picking him up if you want a winger fullback.
Yeah.
He's massive over the bars.
Yeah,
massive.
he's huge. He covers so much. Yeah,
he's perfect.
I just already owned him, so I'd forgotten he existed. So that was my bad. Sorry.
He's the only relevant player on the only team that plays all of the bars.
Yeah.
So he's
you
got to get him.
Unless Reece Robson has a shit fucking Origin game, mate, then I'll be watching that space.
Yeah, we're definitely preying on one of Watson or Robson to have a shocker and get dropped for game 2.
Because it's not like Wade Egan's playing bad, and he is being talked about. So
I think it's more Appy Coruscant than Wade Egan, who's next in line. But
Appy's good. Both of them in the conversation.
Do a good job.
Yep. Mm-hmm. So Reece has definitely got his work cut out for him. He needs to play his best game, otherwise he can be on the bench for game 2. Tigers. So don't buy Heath Mason because Laddie's back very soon. Do we have a...
Goes back to what I said about not getting shitty cash outs.
Yeah.
He's meant to be back next week, so it could be the shortest of runs in the team for Mason.
Yeah. Don't buy his Mason. Definite trap. Anybody else on here? I don't think so. This Tony Suka kid? Oh, looking at him.
They just extended him, but Sakar, I think he's Lebo, I believe.
Okay.
But no, unless Fainu or Seyfarth goes down, then we might have an actual cash cow on our hands. But neither of the bastards have died yet. So
yeah, you've been praying for Alex to die ever since he got the spot.
No, not really. I kind of got over it, to be honest, just as everyone else did.
Yeah, the whole thing was, hey, he never keeps his spot. He's played fucking 14 games straight or whatever it is.
Yeah.
I think that's about it for this game. Tyrrell May's your captain this week, fellas, yeah?
Yeah,
definitely.
No questions.
It's just so good, man.
I think it'd be a wild to choose anybody apart from him.
I'm actually worried that we lose this game pretty badly, to be honest, fellas.
Oh, I think you guys should flog them.
We should.
Look at they've named a fullback at 5'8". Royce Hunt is starting at prop. Brent Naden's on the bench. This team looks awful on paper,
and that's what scares me. It's just
you never know with These are both two teams that fucking can sometimes play really, really good, but can also look like the worst team in the comp, and those could be 1 week apart, those two things. So who knows what will happen this week?
If we play like we did against Manly, then they're right in this game, and they could hurt us. Yeah, I just hate Saturday afternoon games.
Yeah. You'll definitely struggle with May.
Yeah, like McIntyre Bateman. There's a hole he can run through every single time he wants. So
that's kind of where it ends, though. Like after May and I guess Coruscant, there's just not a lot else that the Tigers have been offering lately. Buller's had a pretty good season, but I wouldn't say he's creating too much.
Alex Seyfarth, the weapon. I think that's it. Just wait for Ladu to come. Manly Broncos.
Do you guys think that Galvin's definitely played his last game as a Tiger?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, 100% right.
Yep.
For sure.
Word is he's already moved, mate. The truck's already got his shit.
He would be named if he was there's no reason for them to drop him for a reserve grade fullback at 5'8",
Yep.
Yeah, every single one of the guys in the 360 panel reckoned he's going to be playing 7 for the Dogs next week.
Yep. I cannot see why they wouldn't, mate. His registration should be done by then, and he could be definitely lined up.
I'm kind of surprised it hasn't happened this week, to be honest.
Well, they got to buy. Otherwise, they probably could have.
No, that's fair. Very, very fair point.
Yeah. He probably could be in the 7, but yeah. They got to buy.
Forgot about that one.
Ruben Garrick. We'll move on to the Manly game. Still a buy? Mm-hmm. Just with the buy coverage?
Yeah, I guess.
I've got him. He's hard for me to recommend right now. He's not a buy this week. If you want to buy him, just grab him in round 50. At the moment, he's losing money. I wouldn't be in a hurry to pick him up.
He's playing the Broncos.
I can't see why. I can't see why you'd want to pick him up to play him in your 13 this week. Like he's probably the weak one. Arguably the weakest member of my 13 this week.
So who would you be playing? Would you play a Tamale over him?
Nah.
So,
I don't know. It's actually a tough one. I would probably play Garrick over Tamale, but if I go through with what my initial plans were, then I'll be looping Garrick for either Toya or Tamale. So
you've got a wing fullback you can use to loop?
Yeah, well, no, I would be because Garrick's a center as well.
Oh yeah,
so
doing it in
you
center.
Can loop him with Herbie, and then if I do what I had planned, which was Payne Haas to Jaden Campbell, then I can plug Campbell into wing fullback and loop Garrick.
Yeah, I'm
not convinced on Garrick as a scorer at the moment. I hate that I bought him last week. To be honest, he really sputtered it, but there were no real better options, so it's not too bad.
He's got amazing ball coverage.
I can't see anyone needing him in their 13 this week, though. So
Yeah, exactly.
Garrett could and should wait.
Next week is a different story. So, because, I mean, I don't know how many people did what I did and just held the 3 Roosters. So, Toya, Noah, and Teddy. But next week, I definitely need Garrick because, yeah, I'm running low on fumes. And that's why I'm not selling Tamalo this week, is because I need him for next week. I can definitely sell Tamalo.
Next week, I've just got Savala and Wong, so I don't really give a fuck about that round. That'll be easy enough for me to cover.
Yeah.
I mean, Savala's not even in my 17.
You're not running the 15 Rooster strat, so...
I got fuck all Roosters,
you got
just
that
those
covered.
2.
Yeah. Jazz.
2 as well.
Big Jazz lives a fucking another week, the cunt.
Fuck yeah, so good.
Fuck me.
He's making me shit ton of money. I got him for 366k.
He sucked off like fucking baby Jesus or something. Jazz did. Hey,
Yeah, bloody big second half, eh? When I went to bed at half time, I was grumpy as. Remember?
Yep.
Yeah, he had like a 50-point second half. He was on 14.
The last thing I said in the group chat before I went to bed was fucking, I better wake up. And this cunt's fucking got, sort of shit and got me some more points, but I won't hold my fucking breath. And then woke up, checked, I was like, yeah.
Yeah, wasn't happy, man. Wasn't happy whatsoever. But big Jazz hater, just because I didn't buy him. I've seen some people buying Matt Lodge. What's going on? They just points chasing his 50 from last week?
I saw Ham mentioned in AFG earlier that he was looking at picking him. I haven't looked into him. I don't even know how much he costs or anything.
He's 380k. Yeah, he had a good score last week, but he only played 36 minutes. I had 4 tackle busts, 2 offloads, and a turnover. So he's not going to be doing that every week.
No, he's not no. It's a hard pass for me.
Yeah. I just brought him up because I've seen screenshots everywhere with his name in it. I'm just like, what are you doing? I mean, I get it. He's cheap. He does cover a lot of shit, but it's just no. Pay up and get a proper player.
Yeah, I agree with that. Mm-hmm. That cash out range for the 300s, you got to be so careful, selective with who you get out of those, because you actually need them to like score pretty well for a while to like make much coin.
Yeah, and we're looking at it with Savannah, right?
And it doesn't open up that much coin. Like, what, you're cashing down a fucking 480k guy to a 360k guy? We're like, it's not that much cash.
Yep.
Yeah, that's a fair point. I mean, they're all pretty crappy. Nathan Brown, I don't know. I'm short on mids for 15, so I have to kind of look at a guy like this, but I think with Gerbo missing this week as well, the odds of him actually playing State of Origin are pretty low.
Okay, so
did you trade out Hubner?
Yes.
There is one player in the Manly bench that I would like to quickly chat about, and that's Corey Waddell. Because he's had back-to-back 50s. His break-even is 0. And he's 380k.
How many minutes has he been playing?
The first 50 was a fluke, and the second 50 was because Ben Trebojevic was out. So he's not for me.
Yeah, no. I didn't like owning him in the past season. No, he can fuck off.
Yeah, no, that's fair. I thought I'd mention, like, he's only priced at 29, so he's only got to get that. He's going to make you quick money.
If we knew that Hamole wasn't playing Origin, or if we knew that Ben Trebojevic was out for a while, then I'd be a lot more tempted on him, but that's just not the case at the moment, so we'll have to wait and see. And if one of them go down, then yes, he becomes a genuine option, but for the time being, his scores are just very trappy and
big time. Keep Corey's name
big time trappy.
Keep Corey's name in the back of your head, because every time he gets a roll, he seems to score pretty well. Another Alex Seyfarth.
Your head, mate.
He is just like Seyfarth, not a great footballer, but he works hard and does work when he gets a job. He just has 0 footy IQ and can't hold the ball.
Alex Seyfarth. So Broncos team. Jesse Arthurs at fullback. Okay, why not?
Interesting.
Adam Reynolds.
What were you? So just before we move off from Manly, what are you guys' thoughts on Turbo? All of the other podcasts seem high on him. Jessup bought him last week.
Bro, he's not even named this week. Like, he's
I
out.
think you're mental. If you bought him last week, I think whatever you're smoking, I would like some of that because one, he had a
Crazy.
60 break even, and two, if he started playing well, like, okay, sure, he might get you one good score, but if he was playing well enough to be putting big fantasy points on the board, he'd be playing Origin 2.
It was funny to listen to Jessup talk about it. He was all like high as on, and he was like, "Oh, this week he wasn't. There was no knee brace, and it looked like he was running freely." He's like, "Fuck it, Ken. What are you, an expert on watching cunts biomechanics from fucking bunker? Fuck up."
His last game, he looked like he needed crutches.
Yeah.
He did look better. Look, I'll give him that. He definitely looked like he was moving freer, but apparently the reason he's out is because he aggravated that injury. So
Yeah, aggravated the cork.
The fact that he's stoked with a 40 tells you fucking that there's something that is
Well,
not exciting.
he threw
I don't
three
want to be
junk
stoked to
offloads,
get a
but
40. Like.
yeah, he threw 3 junk offloads right at the end, so he was on track for a mid-20.
And
Every other week.
I am watching Tom, but I need to see something way different to what he showed this year. So,
Just don't need him, I think.
The thing with Tom as well, like even if you think, oh, he's only going to be like fucking 400k, and I can hold him as like a 20th man in my team all year, like probably can't. Like Tom's not known for being able to pick him up halfway through a year and him stay alive through it. Like that probably won't happen.
he's done it once from my memory. Was like maybe 2022 or 2021. He came back from injury and killed it for the rest of the year. That was when Manly made that mean run. But that's the only time I can remember it happening.
To be fair, I think he did it last year. Let's have a look. He had a pretty good run from round 20. Yeah, round 19, he had a 50, 2 90s, a 70, and a 50 and 2 30s. So,
and that he got injured.
To consider.
He got injured in 26, so you probably got to take that one out because he only played 60 minutes.
And it's still 6 rounds more from now than it is from round 19 as well. And he doesn't look the picture of health every week either. Let's be real here.
Like if you were like, this is a Hail Mary play that you need buy coverage for, and you can't afford anything better. That's it. Like
to be fair though, if Dylan Lucas was actually out last week, I would have seriously considered it.
Well,
at this point in his career, he's got dodgy knees, dodgy hamstrings, dodgy shoulders, a dodgy back. Like there's so many things that can give out on that cunt at any given moment.
Yeah, of course.
All right. So Cobbo not named at fullback, and Jesse Arthurs is just throwing my brain a little bit. Just taking a few hours to get over that. Just doesn't make sense to me. Adam Reynolds re-signed with the Broncos. So
how long? Is it another 2 years?
Yeah,
it'll be a year, surely.
Yeah, I think it is 12 months. They're gonna let go Fletcher Baker and a couple other other fringe players to keep him. So, yeah, Adam Reynolds staying at the Broncos.
Yeah, good on him. I mean, he's still playing pretty good footy.
Yep, still playing well, and they need him. Let's be honest, they got no one to take over that, so they definitely need him. Jock Madden's not ready. Or is not the guy.
They do have a young gun half that's coming up that will be a very good player. Kobe Black, eventually.
He's another 12, 18 months away, though.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's more time. Yeah, he's probably a really good succession plan to keep Renault around.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I think that's about it for this game. It's nothing too fantasy relevant. Xavier Willison again on the edge. It's interesting.
Nah, it's just not a lot there.
Do you guys think Haas will back up? I reckon he won't make the 24-hour cut.
So my thing is who do they have to bring in for Haas? I think if he's fit, he plays because they just got nobody else.
It's a fair point, but geez, he hasn't trained for 2 weeks by all reports in the Blues camp, and he's going to go play in the toughest arena in
They'll
rugby
play-
league.
They'll play whatever guys are in their fucking squad.
Yeah. I mean, they're going to bring in like a Jaden Hunter or Fletcher Baker, I suppose, to cover that
Fletcher
spot.
Baker,
Yeah,
I guess. Yeah.
It's what they're fucking being paid for, right?
Well, I'm not sure they get. I think they get like some tuck shop money, man. That's about it.
Yeah, I don't know. Like this,
squad members are for.
I'd say this is the kind of game that Brisbane get up by heaps early and then he sits, but because this Manly side doesn't look very good, but the Brisbane side looks just as bad. So I don't know. This could be a really bad quality game.
Okay, so if he's named 1 hour, and then he at that 1 hour point, are you going to play him?
Yeah, well, I'll loop him. I've got Max King to use as a loop. I wouldn't play him straight up because I think there is a very real chance that he only plays like 50 minutes and gets a 40 to anywhere between sort of 40 to 70. It's Payne Haas.
If Payne Haas backs up this week and plays over 50 minutes, I would be so shocked at the recklessness of that. I really don't think he's going to play. He hasn't trained in like 2 weeks, and you want to go from that to, oh, okay, now you can play like 2 games in like 3 days. Like, it won't happen, I don't think.
Okay.
I agree with that. And for me,
when you give it like that, it really doesn't make sense.
For me, if he doesn't play this game, I'm very strongly considering trading him out.
All right, and I'm in the same place because if I don't play Haas, I'm playing Corey Horsburgh straight out.
So that's fine.
I know that's fine.
You play him every week anyway.
I know. Just hear me out, bro.
Okay, go.
But
I'm gonna let you finish.
So I'll be playing. My thing was I'm playing Corey Horsburgh, so I don't have a gap in my front row. But I could use Haas to get to Kolo and Aitken, get to Aitken, get to these other guys, and then have cash to upgrade Tamale Toya in round 15 to out and out guns. And then try to figure a way to bring back Haas, maybe using a Stewart, because hopefully he's made me another 100k. Does that make sense?
Yeah, well, yeah, it does. It does, because I am considering trading Haas out for very similar reasons. For me, if I was to trade out Haas this week, it would be because I'm bringing in Kolo and Aitken and Jaden Campbell, which would be very easily done with Haas's money. And if Haas plays limited minutes throughout the Origin period, there's a pretty high likelihood that he drops at least sort of 50k, maybe even more, depending on just how many fewer minutes he plays. So it's not the worst idea in the world. I certainly wouldn't tell people to trade out Payne Haas if he's playing, but if he's not, or if he is coming off the bench or something, which I think if he plays, he starts, but I'm considering trading him out even if he plays. I'll say that.
Yeah. So if you can easily cover Payne with a Horsburgh or anybody else like that, you would normally start. Like as Eddie said, you normally start Horse. Then do it, and then trade Haas out. Use him to get some of your around 15, 18 mids that are probably a little bit premium price. Because 670k is not exactly easy to come up with to grab Kolo and Aitken. If you're going from Katoa, if you're going from Tamale, Toya, these other 550 range players, you got to come up with 100k, and it allows you to upgrade 2 for the price of 1, basically.
Well, we've been talking this whole pod about how there's just no cash outs at the moment. So, to do down and up, you kind of need to sacrifice either a Haas or a Cleary. And my initial plan was Nathan Cleary in round 15 because he misses 3 out of 4 games. But hearing the news that Haas is a bit underdone and he was iffy to even play State of Origin 1, to think he'd play 60-plus minutes at a club game 3 days after State of Origin, it's a far reach for me.
Oh, you'd have to be a retard to think that he'd play those minutes fucking backing up.
Yeah.
As eloquent as ever, Eddie.
Honestly, if Simmons thinks he's going to come out and bust out 65 minutes 3 days after Origin after not training for like 2 weeks because his body's not right.
Watch him do it now.
We're talking to.
Watch him do it now, because remember he had that ankle injury at the start of the year that was going to hamper him. So, yeah.
It's a bit different.
I know it's way different, dude. It's way different. He's actually got an injury, not a reported one.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's a good thing to think about with pain. Eddie has been praying for a fucking pain injury the last 10 weeks as a non-owner. He's finally got one.
Absolutely.
And now he's going to watch all the pain owners use it to buy fucking premiums and continue to fucking...
It's the one part of the year where I've got an advantage fucking
Yeah.
over Haas owners is that the only Origin player I own is Cleary, so like it's pretty easy for me to navigate these buys.
Yeah.
Well, even historically speaking, he kind of tends to lose money over Origin, and that's basically every year without fail. Even without these sort of niggling injuries that he's got at the moment.
Yeah.
But don't get me wrong, I'm not trying to justify the fact that I haven't owned him all year. Fucking, I've been punished a lot not owning him, and I'm not. And his any little struggles he has over Origin don't make up for that.
Yeah.
Not at all.
All right, I think that's about it for that game. We'll move on to the Rabbitohs and the Warriors on Sunday afternoon. Up the Waz.
Up the fucking Waz.
Just quickly running because I didn't really get too much chance to look at this. I don't think there's any major ins and outs in this game. Aaron Clark. Still a buy if you don't own him because he is just going to be the number one scoring hooker.
Probably not.
A fucked up time. Right now would be a fucked up time to buy him though. Like if somebody if somebody told me, "Oh, I'm getting Clark this week," I'd just look at them like, "Do you even know how to play?"
Yeah, I don't know that it's a real discussion. If you were going to have Clark, I would expect you would have had him by last week.
Before the only major buy he plays, rather than buy him just before the two doesn't.
Yeah.
I'd buy if I didn't own him, I'd probably be more tempted to just wait for Harry Grant to be fucking base price by the time Origin's over.
Yeah, so you got to wait and just make your decision around 18, 19.
Yeah, if you don't have him, but I suspect he's very, very commonly owned at this point.
I think he's going to score really well the next 4 rounds that he actually plays, though. Like, he's going to have huge tackles. Yeah.
Oh, he has every fucking game.
Cronulla, Panthers, and Broncos in the next 4 games.
When was the last time he didn't get a good score?
The Cowboys, mate. He only got a 58.
How long ago?
Yeah, just a 58. Just 2 more than his average.
just the dream score for every other hooker.
Yeah, dude. They wish they could get that high. No. Aaron Clark's great. I don't think there's anyone else in the Warriors, eh? Fisher Harris?
No.
And it's mainly just because of the fact that they don't play the next 2 major buys, right?
Yeah, I mean, if Fisher Harris did play the next 2 major buys, I'd be interested in looking for sure, but he fucking doesn't.
Oh, well, let's talk about the relevant team then. Let's talk about the Rabbitohs. Kolo and Aitken, give me some pros on why we should buy him, Eddie.
As far as we can tell, he seems to be into that big middle role, which we've seen him excel at. He's a very solid scorer there, and he really passed the eye test in the last game he played there. He's got like 350 meters, got a massive score without any like real attacking stats. Low break even, BPP, plays 15, plays 18. I think it's a lot riskier to not get him than it is to get him.
Jay-Z,
I think it's a no-brainer.
Jay-Z, tell me why we should be avoiding Kolo, or at least cautious.
There are some downsides to him because he's not guaranteed to play the minutes he's been getting the last 2 weeks. I don't know how closely to press conferences other fantasy players pay attention, but Wayne Bennett said word for word, hopefully he doesn't have to play this many minutes every week. He also did wrap him tremendously by saying, he had a real standout game, was the best player on the field, and obviously his stats showed that as well. But if you're expecting him to play 70 to 80 minutes every game, I'd probably temper those expectations. And we know he's not an amazing PPM player when he doesn't get those minutes. That Tigers game as well was one of the highest games of the season in terms of the ball being in play. So if you go back and you look at the base stats of virtually everyone in that game, they were all massively inflated because there were very few errors. Both teams played like straight up the guts, and his score's a bit inflated, right? You look at that game, you've got Aitken on 70, Alex Twile scored 60 in 50 minutes, Safar 57. There are so many high scores from that game. Obviously, Terrell May scored 109 as well. So there is some downside, and you could almost make the argument that if he keeps playing as well as he's been playing, then maybe he might even play State of Origin come game 2. And if he gets into the Blues side, if he gets into the Blues side, then that's a basically completely wasted trade.
You fucked yourself.
I'm just going to bank that he's not going to do that. I think realistically, the upside definitely outweighs the downside, and I'd challenge you to suggest which middle this week you would purchase ahead of him.
Oh, none?
I wouldn't purchase a middle ahead of him, but I also don't know if I would get him this week. I mean, you may have to pay up 50 to 60K for him in 2 weeks, assuming he doesn't make the Blues and continues on being as good as he is. But there's almost a thought in my head saying, just wait for Toby Couchman come round 15. He might drop 50, 60K in the next 2 weeks, and you'll be able to get
both.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's a very real possibility as well. But for me, and don't get me wrong, I am strongly considering buying Kolo and Aitken, and if Payne Haas doesn't play, I almost certainly will. But if Payne Haas is playing, there's a real chance I don't buy him until round 15.
So Kolo and Aitken, we think he averages 55. That's pretty fair.
Yeah. That's where I would put him, yeah.
Yeah, so just for the listeners, if he averages 55, he'll make 43K this week, and then he'll make another probably 25 the following weeks to be around the 746 coming into round 15. Mm-hmm. So that's just what you've got to have in your mind. If you don't want to buy Kolo this week and you want to wait for 2 weeks, you are paying that extra sort of 70K for him if he averages that 55 we think he's going to average. If you can afford that, that's on you, you know what I mean?
I think he's the buy of the week.
Yeah. It's really close between him and Stewart for me. Stewart's that little bit cheaper, so you get more money to work with. Because I don't think Kolo's going to make me 100K like what Stewart's going to make me. And
that's not what you're getting Kolo for, though.
No, you're getting him for the buy coverage, you're getting him for the durability and potentially a keeper, right?
Definitely a keeper.
Yeah. Well,
if he holds that role, he's a keeper.
But if he goes back to edge, he's not.
I don't think he will.
I don't think he will either. I think Wayne Bennett has pretty much said, again, if you refer to the post-match after the Tigers game, he pretty much said he's going to stay in the middle, but might not play as many minutes as he played.
Yeah, Jairo and Kolo have been great in the middle too for that club, so they're a big reason why they've
been excellent.
Yeah, they're a big reason why they're playing really well at the moment. And you and Aitken coming back, I think freed up Kolo to go into the middle, to be honest. So he's the next guy I really want to talk about is Ewan. Does he need...
Nice segue, Thorsky.
Yeah, does he need DPP to be an amazing option, or can you get him as a straight-out edge?
I am getting him as a straight-out edge. I don't think he's going to get DPP, but his career average when playing big minutes on the edge is 55.
Keeper edge?
That's fucking good no matter what position.
Yep.
And he's at the price of like 46. Plays 15 and 18. The only thing you got to worry about is, but if the centre goes down, blah, blah, blah. But yeah, you can't worry about that many what-ifs.
But he scores well at centre. It's not like he drops off a cliff and scores you a 20 when he's on the centre.
He does score like 10 less, though.
Yeah, it is. It's a 45, but it's not going to kill you for one game.
Yeah.
I think when they made the decision that Koloamatangi's a prop, they've also made the decision that Aitken's an out-and-out edge.
Yep.
So I actually think that likelihood of him going back to centre is actually quite low. I mean, the Jack Whiten's out at the moment, right? And he's still being named on the edge. So It would be very easy to just plug him into the centre position like they did a couple of weeks back when he first came into the team. So
Yeah.
I bought Aitken before the first major because I needed an edge for round 15 and 18. A lot of people won't need a second edge in 18, in which case Aitken isn't as strong of a buy. If you need an edge for both rounds, then he's a way better buy. And if he somehow gets DPP, then he's basically a must-have.
And that's where I'm at. I look. He's 620 this week. Next week he's 660. It's 40 grand. I'm probably going to pay the $40,000 to wait to see if he gets DPP. If he doesn't get that, I may just have to let this one through to the keeper, just on the way my team's set up, and the fact that I'm going to bring Kolo in this week, and he covers that edge spot for me in the round 18.
Yeah, well, I wouldn't call Aitken a must-have.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I wouldn't say must-have. No, I don't like to use that term too much. Certainly one of the very top buys of the week, though.
But he's making 150k easy if he just plays the way he plays. Aitken plays.
He'll make maybe 100k.
Well, no.
You can't say 150k easy. That would take him to like his
670
career heights.
770.
Yeah, but that's like the most he's ever been sort of territory.
That's averaging 60. Yeah.
Isn't 770 55?
No.
Is it
No,
730?
it's like 60, I think, or closer to 60.
Okay.
It's 58.
Sorry about that.
It's not 55 easy. It's hopefully he'll get to 55.
Well,
you make it sound like 55's a fucking sure thing.
60 and a 72, mate. He's doing pretty well. 55 is his last game. Yeah. He's 3 games. His average is fucking through the roof.
Hopefully he goes to 55, but not 55 easy. That's getting carried away.
I mean, potentially he goes better at the South, right?
No.
You don't reckon?
No, potentially, yeah, but that. I don't know why he would go better at South as opposed to the Dolphins.
I think
You're
South's
just getting carried away.
I think South's a better team than Dolphins, mate. Even with
you're just calling for him to have career best scoring immediately because you want him to.
Nah, his career best was at the Warriors, mate. He was a fucking legend. Anyway,
no, that's not true. That's wrong.
Probably it was the Dolphins last year that was his career best, if I was to guess.
Yes, it was.
You reckon?
Because he was like a low 50s guy at the Warriors.
Yeah.
Anyway, move on to the next game while I fact check this. Because is there anyone else? Sorry,
I was looking at it yesterday.
Hubner. What are you doing with Lachlan? If you own him still,
I'm holding him, and then at round 16 he can fuck off.
I sold him last week, so I just don't really have faith in him being a particularly good scorer anymore. In saying that, I would like to still own him so I could play him in 15, given Max King is playing for the Blues for some reason. If you held him this long, you may as well hold him through to 15.
I'll cop the 35 from him in round 15, and then you can fuck off.
Yeah.
I don't own him, so I've got no skin in that game. Don't really care. That's it. Moving on to the next game. Panthers Eels. We definitely think the Panthers boys are backing up in this one because they need the win. So I wouldn't be too worried.
They will. As long as they come through relatively unscathed, I think all of them will back up.
Yeah. None of these young fellas on the bench are worth cashing down to.
Nah, fuck all then.
No. Both of these teams have already played their major buy round, so basically every option isn't that appealing.
Yeah.
Worth talking about, I was very high on Liam Henry last week, and basically the worst case scenario of a game happened. He got sim-binned and had a HIA, so 25 minutes off the field, still managed 40 points, but he'll be instantly traded out for me this week.
Yeah, he's got a 2 week.
My boy Vince brought him in because you were bringing him in. Fucking,
yeah.
He went down. He burned with you, bro. Fucking, he'll be listening right now. So what up, Vince?
No Jay-Z magic that week.
Yeah, sorry, mate. He still managed to 40 points. So it could have been much worse. He could have been knocked out 2 minutes into the game
Yeah, true.
and never been seen again. So,
Definitely could have been much worse. The HA was bullshit though. He was completely fine. I really don't like the independent fucking
Doctor?
bunker doctor sometimes, eh?
Yeah.
Like players failing on field HIA, so yeah, get them the fuck off. But there's just some joker watching a TV and he thought, he looked like he was a bit sore there for a second, fucking when he hit the ground. He was bewildered when he had to go off. He was like, "What the fuck? Like, I'm completely fine. Leave me alone. Like, I don't want to go off."
Do you remember? Like, I think it was last year. When did they bring the independent doctor in? Last year or the year before?
it'll be ages ago now, like maybe 3-4 years ago. Longer.
I think it was 2 years ago. Oh, mate got hit in the groin.
It might have been 2. Yeah.
He got hit in the groin and he laid on the ground because he got his nuts fucking crushed. And the independent doctor's like, "Nah, take him off for a HIA." Almost like, bro, it's my dick. It's not in my head. Anyway. Yeah.
I wonder if they're sitting there like, oh, fuck, it's like 60 minutes into a game and I haven't made any calls. I better make one to justify my job.
I better justify my existence, yeah. I don't think there's much else on the Panthers side, so we'll talk about the Eels. We'll talk about Kit K absolutely fucking my buy round planning.
Yeah, I know.
Scoring well 3 weeks in a row, and now I've got to hold him a couple more weeks.
A couple of weeks ago, I was certain I was going to be trading about this round, but he's not going anywhere until round 15 at the very earliest.
Yeah, he's going to make us some more money.
Possibly never.
Yeah. I mean, I'd probably need to trade him out round 15 because I need edge 2 mids, and he's probably going to have to go. It depends on what happens with Aitken's duel, to be honest.
Depends if he gets another 2 big scores, then at that point I'm just going to assume he's a keeper centre.
Yeah, that is also true.
But he might come out and get a 35 and a 39, and then I'm make him fuck off now.
I mean,
I
was going to say that there are 3 para players that I think we all had penciled in as trades that all are. Look, I still think they're trades, but they're not as certain as a trade, like Riley Smith and Isaiah Youngie. Yep. Youngie probably still is.
They're going to be trades. They're just not trades right this second. Like they can all go. They're sort of all gone from being guys you trade out straight away in round 13 to guys that you hold up until round 15.
And it's just that awkward. Yeah, it's just awkward.
I don't know that Riley Smith is a trade though. Like he's had 350s in his last 4 games, and considering how atrocious the hooker position has been, he might just be the best sort of backup hooker, like 18th, 19th man you can have.
Yeah.
Yeah, but if you've got him and let's assume you've got fucking Clark as well, you might find that it's difficult to fucking hold him and then still somehow have a hooker for the other 2 rounds. But
which means you'll have to have 3 hookers.
He's not a trade this round anyway, and that's what we're talking about. So one to just figure it out in round 15.
He should score decently against the Panthers, like plenty of tackles. So yeah, I'd be holding him. Break even at 17.
Yeah, I mean, you definitely can't trade him right now. That would be crazy.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And Isaiah, do you think he might be a trade this week?
What's his break even? He just scored big, didn't he?
Break even's 15.
Well, then no, obviously not a trade. No.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm still considering maybe trading him just because it's not a great matchup. And if I don't trade out Haas, then I need to trade out Iongi or Riley, and I'm far more inclined to trade Iongi than Riley.
It's a good matchup.
I don't know that it is. Penrith.
They're playing the team that's dead last.
Yeah.
Sure, rough. But it's not like a West Tigers dead last. It's a team that I think people still haven't written off for winning the comp despite being in 17th. That's the last place team they're versing.
I've definitely written them off winning the comp.
Yeah, right.
I think I don't know about that.
Jump the gun a bit.
I haven't written them off making the playoffs, but no, they're not. This isn't a premiership winning team. No way.
Is there anybody else you want to talk about in this game?
Kelma Tuolangi is maybe keep an eye on him if he ever holds an 80-minute role. He could be a mid-season sub sort of cashy.
400k awkward price. Not really cash
And
down.
he doesn't put any major buys. No, I won't even
Yeah.
be keeping an eye on him.
Wait till after. See, hopefully he
That's
gets
fair.
like a 60-minute roll and he loses himself another 100k. Then you can look at him. All right. So Sunday game, Roosters Raiders. I can't wait for this game. I think this is going to be fucking brilliant.
Yeah.
It's just a lot of fantasy players.
Yeah, a lot of fantasy players, but it should also be a good game of rugby league. Both are going to go out there and just smash each other. It's fucking Spencer Leniu against Joseph Tarpany and Horsburgh, mate. Someone is getting sent off in this game.
Joseph Tarpany was off his fucking head last week.
Yeah,
eh?
dude. He is. He is an angry ant.
He got fucking put on report twice. Fucking he was fucking nutting off at the opposition. He was nutting off at his own players. Fucking at one point, he was on fucking camera and with full audio of him telling his players just to shut the fuck up, bro. Like, fucking,
Yeah, he was an angry man.
fuck yeah, he
was good.
was angry as the whole game.
Yeah. Now, do any of you guys still, or did any of you own White or still own White?
Nah, I never ended up getting him.
Yeah, right. So I still own White, and I'm toying with the idea of trading him to Kolo. Just,
I'm surprised he didn't trade him to Radley last week after the chat we had.
I should have, and I admit I should have. I actually should have just went to Radley instead of picking up Reed Marnie. That's the play I should have done, because then I would have been well and truly covered, but I didn't. So the world I live in is that I've got a fucking wasted spot with Reed Marnie, who could be dropped at any fucking moment if you want to listen to the media. And I got White.
I'll believe that when I see it, though.
Yeah, and then
It is definitely something to be concerned about, though. But
yeah. I'm not trading him this week.
There's also chat that Sexton was going to get dropped for Hayward anyway. So what's the story? Is Hayward going to be their hooker? Is he going to be their halfback? Like, this guy's fucking playing every position in the team.
Playing both. Play fullback too. Why not?
Yeah.
Fuck it. So I am considering trading White to get Kolo and Aitken in because
how certain is White to be playing in round 15?
He's not.
I think if he was,
he's not.
Okay, then I can see what he's not going to, or he's just not certain.
He's not certain.
Yeah, okay, it's a tough one. Maybe I would trade because if he was certain to play 15, then I would hold. But if you hold and he doesn't play 15, then that's a real kick in the nuts.
Yeah, I'm either trading then for an extra $70,000. You know what I mean?
So can you trade him to Kolo and then you don't have to trade Haas?
Yeah, correct.
I'd do that then, yeah. If it saves you from having to fuck around trading Haas out and getting him back, then yeah, definitely White's expendable enough for that.
Yeah, so I might do White to Kolo, and then pending Haas, I might get Stewart with Haas. And then I can do a lot with the money next week.
I wouldn't do that, yeah. I agree. If you can get Kolo and Aitken without having to trade Haas, then yep, that's absolutely the play. But trading Haas to get someone like Hamish Stewart, who you know isn't a final team keeper,
yeah,
I mean, I'd be looking for alternatives to that.
It's just about having that 15, and I don't have to do it straight away. It's about a 15 mid to go with the only one that I've got. Which would be...
I get that, but I think the trades are more valuable. And by the time 15 rolls around, we might have another option to cash down to anyway.
Yeah, but it could be Couchman, right? I could just wait for Couchman.
Bryce does have more trades than most, though. I will say that.
I've only got 15. I'm not super way ahead.
Oh, I thought you had 17.
Oh, hang on, let me just squirrel check. Yeah, I've got 17. Sorry, I've got 17.
Oh yeah, so I think you've got more trades than most. So if anyone can pull it off, it'd be you. But I don't like downgrading Haas to a non-keeper though. So I think that's a bit rank.
I do like the idea because at the moment I'm actually playing Egan in one of my edge spots because I've got so many sort of them cash cow. I started with so many cash cow centers: Nawa, Toya, Tamale, Garrick. I had all them in my team from beginning. So at the moment I'm playing Lucas up in the edge, putting these 13 round, these 13 player rounds just to get his score. If I bring in Kolo and Aitken, I can then not take the risk on a Toya or a Noah and just play Lucas Katoga.
Well,
just trade White to Kolo and Aitken then, bro.
Yeah.
Do you still have Toya and all those sort of guys?
Yep.
Well, then I'd would. Well, no, I'd wait till 15, but then you can just make the decision in 15.
Yeah.
Like rushing in Hamish Stewart when Toby Couchman's back doesn't sound like the brightest idea in my eyes.
And that's where I was actually this afternoon before the podcast.
I'd be completely fine with going Toya to Hamish.
I think there's a very, very real chance Toya gets dropped after tomorrow night. Like he's coming up against Latrell Mitchell on debut. Good luck to him. I hope he plays well.
See what happens tonight's game.
Cobbo's back.
I mean, if Queensland win, then he ain't going nowhere, I don't think.
Well, Cobbo is back. And that is Cobbo's spot.
Is this where is this game? Is this in Brisbane?
It's in Queensland, yeah.
Yeah.
So basically, the Maroons win this, or else they're going to lose the series probably.
Pretty much.
I think we get smashed. Honestly.
It's state of origin, and you never know what's going to happen, especially Queensland in Queensland. But on paper, New South Wales have a significantly better team.
Yeah.
That's been the case for every year for like the last fucking 10 years, though.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's never been quite this bad, in my eyes anyway. I think they've always had at least serviceable forwards.
The one they called the worst ever Queensland team was ridiculous.
2020.
Yeah, and that's the thing, right?
They were named. There was a bunch of guys in there that you didn't even particularly want at your NRL clubs.
Brimson.
Yeah, 100%. That's a very fair point. And the thing is, if the Queensland are going to win, it's going to be in the same kind of fashion. Like it's all on the shoulders of Cameron Munster, you'd think.
You can never write off any Queensland team. No fucking.
No,
they've always been very good at playing as an underdog. Certainly better at that than New South Wales if the shoe's on the other foot. When they're the underdog, sure. they just lose 8 series in a row.
Now, even though the Roosters have got a bye next week, would you consider bringing in James Tedesco if you didn't own him?
No.
You just wait till what?
His break-even's not particularly low. He's got a bye next week. Just get him in round 15 if you need him.
Yeah.
If you get him this week, and let's say he scores a 70, happy days, and then Dylan Edwards gets a hamstring injury in round 14.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, you've got a guy that misses the next 4 out of 5 games.
Yeah, like if Teddy's break even was 30 instead of being 52, then sure. But I just can't see any reason why you need to pull the trigger now. Seems like an obvious wait till 15 for me.
Mm-hmm. For me, Drinky's more appealing, and if we get Savala still in the 7 jersey come round 15. Then I don't even need a wing fullback because I've got, Sharp, Drinky, Garrick, Savala. So, yeah.
Big Victor Radley. My regret from last week. Break even 25, priced at 42. Recommendation?
The biggest appeal for him for me was the fact that he was available in all the major buys, and now one of them has been, so that's not as much of an advantage anymore. And we've got to buy next week. He's just not that appealing anymore for a non-keeper.
You'd have to be pretty desperate, and even then, I probably wouldn't do it this week.
So if you needed
for the reasons that he said,
if you need a middle and an edge, so if you need an edge, what are you doing? Are you going? You're paying up to get?
Well, we've already talked about Kolo and Aitken.
Yeah, but you got to pay up to get them. So you're paying up.
Not really.
Well, they're both way more expensive than Bradley. Bradley's $550.
Aitken's $70K more expensive.
Aitken's $70K more. Way more. I wouldn't consider Radley at all.
Yeah.
I'd consider him. He's definitely an option, but this round's a weird round to do it in. And he's not ideal in either 15 or 18. I mean, maybe he is in 15. For me, it depends on what happens with Max King, but chances are you've already got Edge sorted in 15 because most of us have some combo of Lucas and KPP with bringing in either Aitken or Kolo and Aitken, so it shouldn't be too hard to cover those spots.
Yeah, so I think 15 is the hard thing, is the middles, with all the Raiders guys being sick that week.
And on top of all that, you've got Couchman's probably going to be a good buy in 15 as well. Redley's a clear step below all of those guys.
And I don't know how many people actually need a edge or a mid this week, because I think you should be pretty right for edges and middles this week.
Yeah.
And Redley just flat out isn't a keeper.
Yeah.
There's no world where he is.
Yep, that's fair. Anything else? What are you doing with Wong if you own him? Waiting to 15, then moving him on, or waiting till next week? His buy.
I'll wait till 16 and then I'll review what my needs are from there. I might not need him in 18, but it could be handy in 19. I don't know. I'm definitely going to be holding him through 15 anyway.
Yeah, you'd be hard pressed trading him this week, I think. If you've held him, it's because of his incredible buy coverage. And
yeah, exactly.
Yeah, he's obviously not scoring where people want him to score, but he's not scoring that much worse.
No, he's not bleeding cash. He's not hurting you. He's just not providing you with party time.
So, Toya, I'm holding Toya till I find out what's happening in game 2. I might be able to move him on then. Nawa.
What's his break even?
Toya?
It's like
is it
15
low?
Or something. Yeah, it's quite low.
So that's why you're holding. Okay.
14.
He's still got that 90.
got
Well,
money.
I am holding because I desperately need him in round 18 more than anything. Like, I might not even need to play him in round 15.
Yeah. It's round 18
Do you still
for me
have
as well.
Tamale?
Yes, I have Tamale.
So you're going to hold him for the same reason?
Tamale might be in my team for the entire season. Honestly, he's getting better every week. Like, not in my scoring 17, but as a depth guy, he covers both center and wing. He's getting stronger and stronger. And come the end of the season, when teams are a bit more beaten and battered, he's the type of guy to break 7+ tackles in a game. So he'll have some bigger scores on the run home, I would suspect. And Canberra have a very, very soft draw.
If you're rich enough to keep him as a 19th man, he'd be very good in that role. I don't know if I'll be rich or not.
But you've got...
He's very useful. He's very, very useful in 18. Backs is actually really difficult for that weight, because sort of a lot of the backs that we've been sort of relying on for 15, for example, like Lucas and Sharp and guys like that aren't going to be there. And it might be a bit of an all hands on deck situation back-wise.
Yeah, that's why I'm trying to hang on to Toya and Tamale for as long as possible, because they would be very useful in those rounds, and they're quite easy to cover for otherwise.
So I've got Toya, Nawa, and Tamale. One of them will have to leave my team over the next few weeks.
If Queensland win, then I'd be pretty comfortable trading out Toya. Unless he plays shit. But if they win and he plays fine, then he's not going anywhere.
Yeah,
I agree with that.
Yeah, if he does get dropped, Mark's probably going to be the one to go, because he's going to hit his ceiling price-wise a lot sooner.
Mark's pretty fucking handy over the buys, bro.
Yeah, but because I've got Garrick, Nawa, Toya, and Tamale. I've got
Nawa's averaging more than Toya.
He is, and he's averaging more than Tamale as well.
You'll probably end up like wishing you had him in those majors.
It's going to be when I come up to round 18, round 19, that I'm going to run into trouble with just having play. Like, I'm going to be trying to loop these guys, and can I just use one of them to upgrade to a proper gun, Jaden Campbell, something like that, right?
Yeah. And
that's going to be my decision I'm going to have to make, especially if I sell Haas, Because I'm probably going to
I'd
want.
certainly sell Toya before I'd sell Noah, without a fucking doubt in the world.
I mean, Noah's also scored a lot of tries, whereas Toya hasn't.
Well, Noah's definitely going to be playing in 15 and 18.
Yeah, that is true.
I also don't know that you can discount him just because he's scoring tries, because he seems like the kind of guy that's going to score a lot of tries, you know.
Tries part of his base, mate.
Well, he's a try scoring winger. Yeah, what do you?
He's in a team with a lot of points in them, and he's a target man for them. So he's going to score a lot of. He
has played really, really well the last
And it is a winger's job to score tries.
Yeah. Last sort of 6 weeks, he's played really well. So, yeah.
Oh, he's so talented. He just needs to learn how to defend.
I'm not rushing to sell these guys.
He's going to keep developing until he's a proper gun. I'd say in a couple of years he's going to be like a gun fullback or some shit.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, he trained at fullback in the off season. Let me say though, Butters did say he'd be dropped by round 4 for Billy Smith. So another great call from him.
I mean, round 6, but that's because he was injured anyway.
He got injured.
Yeah, I know. He
hasn't been dropped at any point.
Raiders. No one's really happy with Zach Hosking. Didn't turn out the way people wanted.
He's stinking up at the moment.
Wish I didn't buy him, eh? I reckon there's a real good chance I'll fucking trade him out on round 15.
Interesting.
Depends on what he does. It depends what he does the next 2 weeks.
For me,
I'm not even playing him this week.
It's round 19 for me, because then he misses another one, like round 25 or something.
That's part of it. Right. That's part of it. So if he's missing 15 and 19, and he gives me more mediocre scores in the next 2 weeks, I'm fucking gonna struggle to find a reason to hold him.
Yep. The reason would be that round 18 bye, but
yeah, round 18 is actually kind of easy for forwards though. It's hard for hooker and it's hard for backs, for outside backs, but it's quite easy for forwards because you've got May that round playing as well.
Yeah,
but you'll also
Papani and fucking yada yada.
You'll also want to have Jacob Preston by then, I think. That covers that second edge spot for me.
That could also be a big upgrade. Oh, that's a big upgrade.
I might just not end up with Preston. I might have just end up with guys like Couchman and Aitken and Kolo and all these other second rows that I might just end up.
Are you going to try and rush to get Campbell back in, Eddie?
I thought about it, and then I thought about how he was playing tough matchup this week, and then I looked at and realised how niggly it was going to be trying to get enough winger fullbacks and centres for round 18 if I added Campbell into my squad, taking up a spot, and that just sort of led me to... Plus he's full price and it's not like he's got a great break-even or anything. It just led me to the conclusion that for me personally, I'm probably better off waiting until round 19 or beyond.
That's right.
But for other people, he may be a trade-in. Like, I wouldn't talk anyone out of being a trade-in. I just found it awkward for my team.
Yeah, 100%.
Well, I
think Teddy would fit me better.
Yeah, so for me, I'm the opposite, where I need either a wing fullback or a half for round 15, and Campbell's almost a 10-point per game better player than Tedesco this season. So it makes more sense to me to avoid Tedesco until maybe round 18 if he's not playing for the Blues by then, because I think that would be after the Roosters have played all their buys, and then Teddy gets sort of a free run home. Whereas Campbell, even though he doesn't play 18, he's the elite wing fullback, and I think having his score on your team every week from here until then is worth more than like a Teddy or something.
Yeah, it's just about whether I can do around 18 without.
It's all around team composition.
Yeah,
about just sit there and have a look at 18 and see if you can figure out a plan that involves JC that leads to you still being able to field a decent team in round 18. And if you think you can make it work, then yeah, go for it. Because like JC said, he will be the best winger fullback. But I don't like the approach of just looking at it, realizing that it's probably not going to work, and then just going, "Oh well, worry about that then." Don't fucking as though tomorrow never comes, because it fucking does.
So for me, my target for Jaden is round 15. And that is a Tamale to Jaden move.
Yeah, cool. That sounds all right.
Because then
As long as
I
works for 18.
Yeah, I don't need Tamale for round 18. I've already got Nawa that's going to sit on my bench and not play. So
Yeah, but who's the rest of your back? Who's the rest of your back five though?
It'll be Teddy, Drinkwater, Garrick. Well, that'll be my thing. Teddy, Drinkwater, Garrick for round 18.
Okay,
and then
who are your centers?
Who are your centers?
Oh no, sorry. It'll be Nawa, Teddy, Drinkwater at fullback with Garrick and Toya in the center. Is how I've got it set out here, but it could be any of them three.
Oh, so you're relying on Toya getting dropped from Origin.
Yeah, getting dropped from Origin, 100%.
So there's a very good chance you do need something.
Well, maybe. I mean, Aitken comes in DPP, and I got that.
I don't think that's happening, right?
They've pretty much said he's not getting.
There was a post on Facebook a while ago. It was someone that works with the NRL Fantasy, and they asked that question, and they had responded by saying unlikely unless he gets sort of picked again in centre around round 13, 14. So I'm expecting him to not get it.
Yeah, I'm expecting him to not get it as well. But yeah, there's hope, right? Hopes and dreams.
Yeah, but certainly don't include him in your backline plans for round.
Oh well, that's it, right? If I can't fit it, then and Toya's named, then I have to hold Tamale, and I can't get JC till round 19. That's just how it is for me. Because it's not worth forcing it.
We might have Taylor May for South Sydney by that time.
Maybe if he gets registered.
How much is he going to cost? I don't know if I'll give a fuck.
Yeah, I know. It depends. He didn't average too well last year.
I don't know.
What's a 36? It's like 400k. Or
something. Oh, okay. I'm absolutely not buying Taylor May.
Yeah, fair enough.
Morgan Smithies just trap.
If you want to buy him, should have bought him last week. Bike's gone. See you.
Yep.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Yep. And I think that's about it. Can't see.
Sure.
Yeah. Any words of wisdom this week, Eddie?
Don't get a shitty cash out.
Yep. It's
not all good.
JZ?
I don't know. Let's just pray for Hugo Savala to hold his spot. I will say, just on that discussion we just had, my plan for 18 would be looking at someone like a Jacob Kiraz for the run home.
Yeah, it's a great option.
He plays that last bye, and I think the Dogs would have had all three of their buys by then as well. So,
yep.
That's when I'm looking at guys like Kiraz and Teddy.
Round 17 is when Kiraz is due back. So
just. One last thing, actually. Just don't feel the need to constantly get ahead of the curve when it comes to your round 15 buy planning. History has shown us in recent years that not necessarily in your favour, and all you're doing is increasing the chance that the guy you're bringing in isn't available in round 15 because he just gets injured or suspended. But happening with a lot of players. Ask all the people that got guys like Jacob Saifidi and people like that in the lead up to the first major buy. If it's not urgent to get them now, just wait until as close to that 15 as you can, and that way you make sure that the guys you're bringing in are actually going to be playing in the games that you need them.
Yeah. Sometimes you're bringing in these players because they're in really good form. Well, guess what? That's what your State of Origin coach is looking for as well. So, Kolo and Aitken, we spoke about it last week on the pod, that if he had played like this a couple of weeks earlier, he might have been well and truly in the State of Origin contention for game one. So, we'll.
Oh, no, I don't like to worry about that too much. Otherwise, suddenly you identify fucking 50 different fucking good Australian players that could play Origin.
Look at Max King, man. That's a big example of it right there. And Jay-Z got caught. So you're looking at him because they're in good form. So he's the coach of the Europe sides. That's it. Thank you very much for listening. We must. Oh yeah, we've got couple less games. I'm like, it's only an hour and a half, boys. What's going on? Yeah, couple less games. Thanks for listening. Let's talk soon.
Cheer the fucking boys.